Hi everyone, it's Roger here from What's on DisneyPlus.com. A quick news update for you guys on Disney Plus getting a major update. But before we go any further, make sure you do hit that subscribe button to keep up with the latest Disney Plus news. So Disney has announced we're going to be seeing some major changes to how Disney Plus looks and functions in the weeks and months ahead. And all of this is happening because of the launch of Hulu on Disney Plus internationally. So this is going to be taking place on October the 8th. Around the world, the Star Hub will be rebranded to Hulu. This is something that's been in the works for a long time. I've been saying this for many years. The Star brand generally doesn't really cut through. It's very generic. So now with Disney now owning full ownership of Hulu, we're now seeing kind of a broad change to how Disney Plus is going to be operating around the world, with Hulu now becoming the 6th general entertainment hub within Disney Plus. And that means we're going to see some major changes. And that's not just because of the international change to Hulu. We're also seeing a lot of these changes because we're going to be seeing Hulu merged into Disney Plus in the United States in 2026. So we're going to be seeing lots of changes. And as such, Hulu is now becoming much more integrated within Disney Plus, not just in the US, but also around the world. And that, because of that, that means now we can start seeing some bigger changes to the Disney Plus system. It's been very, very similar for a number of years. They've not been making a huge amount of changes, and that's because essentially the US market was their most important market, and until they kind of sorted out what they were doing with Hulu, so that's kind of why it's taking a little bit of time. Also to note, on the same day, on October the 8th, in a number of countries across Southeast Asia, Disney Plus Hotstar will be losing the Hotstar branding because they're going to see Hulu being introduced. I don't think they're going to be getting the same version of the Disney Plus app that the rest of the world does. But again, there's just more integration around the world of how all this works. So let's look into some of the changes that are going to be coming. So just ahead of the launch of the fully integrated unified app experience, which is coming next year to the United States, you're seeing more integration of Hulu across the Disney Plus app as part of this ongoing and innovative slate of product updates and of the homepage and beyond. So we've got some new looks. So first off, at the top now, you're going to have 3 different options. You're going to have For You, along with Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN. Now, the ESPN thing might not necessarily be in all countries, like here in the UK yet. We don't have an ESPN hub. It might be a good time for them to bring it in. But now you're going to have the 3 options at the top, along with For You. And essentially, it looks like the concept of the brand hubs seems to be becoming less important. You know, where we had Disney, Nat Geo, Pixar, Marvelous, Star Wars, Hulu, Star, ESPN. Looks like now the focus is on those kind of 3 core brands, Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN, which kind of makes sense because if you think about it, if Pixar's only putting out 1 movie a year and Star Wars is only putting out 1 movie a year and Marvel's only putting out like 2 movies and a series a year, they kind of don't necessarily need these huge hubs in the same way. So at the top now, we're going to have these options. I'm also really excited to see what they're going to be doing with that For You, because this is going to be much more personalized, offering you much more content through there that you want to watch rather than just, you know, what they want you to watch and kind of following what YouTube and Netflix have been doing. So to go alongside, we've got a little bit of an early look of what's going to be coming to Disney Plus. There's going to be a simpler navigation and a UX design. For example, the new navigation bar, like I said at the top, is going to have that For You tab, which is going to allow first screen subscribers to see what's kind of being recommended by the new updated algorithm that will learn user preferences over time. So I think that's going to make life a little bit more interesting. You know, maybe if you never watch Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, it's not going to recommend the Disney Junior shows. If you're watching a lot of Ryan Murphy shows, it will promote them, and kind of that's going to adapt over time, a little bit like how the other streaming services work, which I think is good. You're also going to have a live area as well, which is going to have the main vertical integration, which will bring in live news, live sports and events, as well as the 24/7 streams. Now, I think that might just primarily be for the US market at the minute, because that isn't available internationally. But again, once they start making the changes in the US, it's going to be much easier to implement. Hopefully at some point we get those streams as well internationally, but at the minute that looks like that's going to be US only. Disney are also going to be making it a little bit easier to see what's new on Disney Plus. They're going to be adding some little tags in there saying like new episode, new show, new movie, which is something I think they've been trying to do for a long. It feels like something I'm talking about, like they should add this a long time. So it's going to be much easier when you log in. That is going to be, if there's a new episode of Grey's Anatomy, it will say new episode, which I think is good. Because what it needs, other streaming services do this. Going to make life a lot easier just to find out if there's something new, and if there's a new movie, just kind of highlighting it, and a little tab is going to be a great way of doing so. Disney has been hard at work behind the scenes to try and evolve and advance its personalization video algorithm that'll learn and improve over time. One of the things that's going to be much more important with this use of the personalization for the For You page is profiles are going to be becoming much more important, because at the minute, in some ways, you could have the exact same profile between everyone and share it, because what's on that front page doesn't really change. That's going to start changing drastically. So if you only used one profile for your whole family, you might want to go in and start setting up different ones. I mean, I find this like with Netflix, like if you go into my Netflix account, you're going to find all the WWE stuff, which you go into my wife's account, she's going to be watching Love is Blind and all these other bits and pieces that I don't tend to watch. So we're going to see more of that coming into Disney Plus, which I think is great. But yeah, if you maybe share a profile with your partner, you might want to be like, okay, I think maybe we need to do this when the changes come in. You might not need to, depends how much Disney Plus you watch. There's also going to be a more dynamic and visual homepage with a more modern design that brings the characters and stories front and center. The new design is more modern and intuitive, so users can find and discover the characters and stories that they love. This will also include a new video display in the hero carousel and a more dynamic brand row, showcasing the latest titles from each brand. They're also updating the content sets to showcase a more cinematic poster-style artwork. You might have noticed if you've been in Disney Plus already, they've kind of been moving away on the homepage from the little rectangles. Now they've turned them into posters. Rectangles the other way around, but it does kind of look, as I say, more like a poster, which kind of I think does grab it. I do quite like the mix of vertical and horizontal. It kind of catches the eye a little bit better, so I don't think it's necessary if they all go vertical. I'm not entirely convinced that's the best thing, but a little bit of mix does kind of break your display up and makes you look at stuff, which I think is good. While many of these updates are going to be coming to the living room screens, they're also going to be putting a more thought on the mobile experience. They're going to be bringing in widgets on the iOS device, which will add a front door to take users directly to the programming with one click. And in the year ahead, they're looking forward to introducing more mobile-first and mobile-exclusive experiences that will expand the reach and engage with the new audience. There's also going to be a lot more stuff coming in the run-up to the launch of this unified app in the United States. Now, this is the key thing here. Obviously, when Hulu and Disney Plus combine in the United States, this is where they're going to be able to bring in lots of changes. And also, it means globally, when they've got Hulu all around the world, and ESPN and everything's all in this one unified app, it's going to be easier for them to bring in new changes. It's going to be easier for it to, they make a change and it will affect everyone, which is a lot better. And I think we're starting to see the investment into the Disney Plus app. We've not really been seeing it so far because everything's been a bit higgledy-piggledy all over the place. From next year, Hulu is just now going to be part of Disney Plus, not just in the United States. Hulu is now going to be a brand from next week on October the 8th here in the UK and around the world. Hulu is now going to be a major part of it, and it makes sense then for them to roll out things much easier, and we're going to see continued changes as this Disney Plus app. I do find it weird that they keep talking about this unified app experience, and the way they talk about it, rather than just being pretty kind of, because it makes it look like it's a new app and it's going to be different. It's going to be the same app. It's the same thing, but they kind of word it in a way that feels, a little bit wordy when it's just like, we're merging Hulu into Disney Plus. That's what we're doing in the United States, and there'll become new changes and stuff. But lots of great stuff to be looking forward to. Already seeing some of the changes. I think this will also, hopefully, with the merger of Hulu into Disney Plus, we might start seeing other changes like profile avatars. So at the minute, we don't get anything like from Family Guy or any kind of that kind of thing. It'd be nice to see that, some new collections, and just have Disney Plus have a little bit more than just a lick of paint. And I think this is the start of some major changes. But let me know what you think of this. Do you think it's a good move, a bad move? We'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. Go check us out over at whatsondisneyplus.com. Like, follow, and subscribe. And I shall see you guys soon. Laters.